What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday night's late night agenda. As always, I'm your host Craig, and you are most welcome along to tonight's stream. Lots for us to get through. Wasn't here yesterday, so there's a little bit of news to go through. We'll look ahead to the Arsenal game of the weekend as well. I know you guys are going to want to know what the stream title is about, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But look, as always, ladies and gents, this is your show. You let me know the topics you want to talk about, and we'll go from there. Right, who have we got in the chat tonight? Liz is in, John's in, Rory, Anthony, Jaden. Breadsticks, John Hamilton, of course. Bernadette's in as well. Will Boy is in. How are you, sir? Welcome. Best rapper, asked Stephen Booker straight away. He's not even asking me, but I want to answer that question. It's got to be Jay-Z. It's got to be, man. Sorry, old school. What else we got? Can I get a shout out, Liam? You ask that every week, mate. Every week. Every time we do a stream. Well, you got one. There you are, mate. How are you? I hope life's treating you well, buddy. I hope the sun's shining. All the usual stuff. I've got to admit, even though I enjoyed a day off yesterday, I missed everybody. I missed coming on and saying hello. I hope everyone had a nice day, and look, let me know what you want to get into. Havertz is the creative one in our team. Yes, please, said Liverpool 6 times. I'm going to wait to get to the Kai Havertz stuff, because give me 5 or 10 minutes, because if I don't, you guys know I'm going to be repeating it over and over and over again as the stream goes through. Christopher Burns said, prefer Netflix and chill. I love me a good old Anfield agenda and a cup of tea. Thank you so much, mate. That's really kind of you. I hope we don't let you down. I hope you continue to enjoy the streams. I want to take a moment to say hello to all those people that do watch but don't comment in the chat. Again, you guys, just want to say hello to you. Just want to let you know that we respect your time. We thank you for coming and joining us. And I hope everyone's well. I'm in a good mood today. I'm pretty relaxed. Sharing Tassar, is that your name? Again, sorry, you asked me to try and pronounce it. I'll give it my best shot. I probably made a mess of it, so I do apologise. Tom Jones says, Havertz makes sense. If Bobby got injured, we'd be screwed. Oh, mate, I'm getting a shiver just even thinking about Bobby Firmino picking up an injury. I hope we haven't jinxed him. Oh, God, I hope we haven't jinxed him. John Cable, how are you, sir? Welcome in. Boya said, seen an interesting article that Rodgers chose Perez over Sturridge. I don't blame him. Anthony, mate, let me get this microphone up into the screen, actually. It's not on a great spot, is it? Let me get it up into the screen. Yeah, I don't... Where we go? Ooh, there we go. I don't blame him, Anthony. I would probably have done the same thing. Daniel Sturridge, one of the most natural finishers you're ever going to see, but... You know, if you're kind of trying to bank on longevity and trying to get X amount of performances out of somebody in the season, you can't do that with Daniel Sturridge. You cannot bank on that consistency of fitness, but as a footballer, he's excellent. But I could understand that decision. I absolutely can. Daniel Sturridge, of course, has gone and signed for Trabzonspor, I think on a 3-year contract, if memory serves me correct. He left Liverpool as a free agent when his contract ran out in June, so he is now over in Turkey. I'm eating a tuna sandwich, and I don't even know if I like it or not today, Jay. Mate, I fucking hate tuna sandwiches. Nah, not for me. Pass. Missed your stream yesterday, said JDB. Thank you, mate. As I said, I missed coming on as well. What is Sokratis saying, or is it all fake, said Jaden O'Connor. No, he did come out and say this. Actually, somebody had a little dig at me in the comment section the other day, saying that I was belittling Sokratis' name. All I remember saying was that I can't pronounce his name. Is it Sokratis? Is it Socrates? I don't think he's deserving of Socrates. Let's go with Sokratis. I think that's all I said. But apparently somebody thought I was having a go with him. I don't know. Anyway, we move on. He did make a comment that said Liverpool's attack is easier to defend against than Burnley's attack. Obviously, he meant that from the point of view of physical. You know, Liverpool's forwards aren't as physical as the big lads at Burnley, but we know he didn't mean it in a way to undermine Liverpool's attack, because we know how good Liverpool's attack are. He knows how good they are, and if he doesn't, he'll definitely be finding out on Saturday. Did you see that AFTV predicted Arsenal to win 3-0 on Saturday? I don't watch that channel, mate. I've no interest in anything that AFTV ever have to say. Not having to go at you, Neil, mate. You're a top fella. I just couldn't give a shit about that channel, mate. They can predict 3-0s all they want. It ain't gonna fucking happen. This coming from the same channel that actually broadcast somebody saying that Holding is better than Joe Gomez and that Joe Gomez is shit and Holding was spit on him. Fuck that. I don't give a shit what that channel has to say. I honestly don't. Mallow, how are you, buddy? Welcome in. Got a cold? No, I don't. Do I sound like I'm a bit bunged up? No, I don't. I'm in good form. No, I'm feeling well, thankfully. Anfield agenda completes my evening. Became a habit, said Matt Netherton, excuse me, mate. Maybe I do. Maybe I'm getting a bit of a head cold. I don't know. I feel good, though. Am I Scouse? Obviously I'm fucking not, mate. Do I sound Scouse to you? I am Irish, mate. 100% Irish beef. Brian Kelly, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Thought Sturridge may choose an English team, said Peter van der Shans. I've no idea why he went to Turkey, mate. I'm sure an interview will come out and let us know, but I always feel we should applaud any English player or British player like that makes the step and goes abroad. I think more of it needs to be done. I think broaden your horizons, playing a different culture, playing a different league. Why not? I'm sure that the shillings had something to do with it as well. I'm sure he got decent money. I think I read 3 million signing on, maybe something like that. How are you doing, Craig? Can you remind me how many Champions Leagues we've won? I believe, Dave, last count, mate, just to be sure, 6 of the finest, sir. 6 of the finest. Good evening, Gaz. How are you, mate, as well? Again, did you see our AFTV? Please don't put anything AFTV have to say into the chat, because I don't give a shit what they have to say, ladies and gents. And I love each and every one of you. But anybody who's been with us for a while knows I'm not a fan of that channel at all. Nothing against anybody individually on the channel, just don't like the channel. I'm going for breakfast with my man tomorrow. Good man, Anthony, fair play to you, enjoy it. Is the Champions League group stage draw soon? Yes, it is, and that actually brings me on to something I do have on my notes tonight to talk about. 1 second. There. No, that isn't it, Craig. Come on, Craig, get your shit together. Okay. There we go. Champions League group stage draw. Sorry, I knew I had it in my notes somewhere. It's going to take place Thursday, August the 29th. And as defending champions, the Reds will go into pot number 1, numero uno, top seeds. Defending champions, ladies and gentlemen. Defending European champions, defending Super Cup champions, and hopefully to be defending World Club champions very soon. Hopefully. Well, I say soon, December. But yes, we will be in pot number 1, which means we will not have a situation like we had last season where we were the 3rd seeded team and we ended up in a group of Paris Saint-Germain, Napoli, and of course Red Star Belgrade. Yes, this season we'll be in pot number 1, so in theory you should probably get a bit of an easier group, but look, we'll have to wait and see what happens. It is I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for the Champions League group stage draw. For a couple of reasons. One, obviously I want to know who the Reds are playing, when we're playing them, and who we can look forward to seeing. But secondly, I want to get finalised for our meetup with the Tampa Bay Supporters Club, because we're going to be over there with them for the first Champions League game. So I want to know what dates it is so we can get things organised with those and go over and meet the good people over in Florida. Yeah, that's right, we're going to Florida, baby. Next month, Anfield agenda in Florida for 1 week. If you're around that neck of the woods between the 13th and the 20th, come say hi. Connor's going to get the drinks in. He's promised me he's getting the drinks in. Scenes now of like hundreds of people show up, and poor Connor's sitting in the corner crying somewhere. A broken man. Poor Connor, actually, shout out to Connor tonight. He's got a throat infection or something along those lines. So this is basically the way this scenario played out. Connor goes to the GP, the general practitioner or doctors, and said, goes in. He said 40 seconds. Doctor looked at his throat, said your tonsils look a bit swollen. Here's an antibiotic. Give me 60 quid. 40 seconds? 40 fucking seconds. 60 quid. If only, ladies and gents. Oh, but anyway, hope Connor feels better soon. As we know, this channel wouldn't exist without Mr. Crosby. Naby seems to be going the same way as Sturridge. It's a bit early to say that, Seahog. I get your frustration, mate. I do. I understand where you're coming from. I love Keita. I really do love Keita, but I understand where you're coming from. Hopefully he can put it behind him this season and get a run of games together. Hi Craig, hope you're doing well, said Curtis Dalton. Mate, how couldn't I be? I'm here, wonderful Reds. I'm absolutely flying, buddy. Tickety boo. It would be great if Havertz was to come to Liverpool, said Jan Hanna. Look, I can get into it now. I think we've been on the stream long enough that any latecomers can pop in. We'll talk about Kai Havertz, and reports in the media today suggest that the Reds are interested in trying to bring Bayer Leverkusen's playmaker Kai Havertz to Anfield next summer. Got to admit, I got a bit excited when I read this. At just 20 years of age, he's already one of Europe's most sought-after players. The Reds are reportedly set to face competition for his signature from the likes of Barcelona, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and a host of other top European clubs. What I read a couple of months back, now this is going a couple of months back and things do move very quickly in football, is that he was set to join Bayern Munich. I don't know how nailed on that is, but he is exactly the type of player that we should be looking at. This isn't just me saying this. Obviously, I've been honest in that I'm only starting to watch more and more of him now. But Dave Henry, somebody who lives in Germany, watches a lot of German football, has been saying to me about Kai Havertz for quite a long time. And of course, Craig Adams in our chat as well, mate. I finally did it. I finally went and bought me a couple of shares in Football Index of Kai Havertz. Finally. I should have done it a long time ago. I've been keep an eye on the younger players though. Mason Mount, the likes of that. Ryan Brewster, the obvious ones. For people that don't know what we're talking about, sorry, I should take a second to say that we are working with Football Index this season, so we will be talking little bits about players and buying shares and players and stuff like that. And if anybody wants to sign up to Football Index, don't forget there is a sign up link in the stream description below, as well as the sign up code, which is AA if you're signing up. Really straightforward, and that will help the channel gain some money and keep free, which is brilliant. And I have to say as well, it is a gambling product. BeGambleAware.org is there if you've had any issues with gambling, and of course when the fun stops, but I'm having a fun time. I have to say I'm enjoying it, and I'm making a few quid. I'm not gonna lie about it, I'm making a few quid with my shares of players over the last year. When Mr. Crosby's better, we'll get him on and we'll go into more depth about who he's bought, who I've bought, and who you guys have bought. If anybody signed up, by the way, let me know. If you have signed up to Football Index, did the code work for you? How easy was it? Did you follow the link? And if you want to let me know who you've invested in, by all means, please do. Look, ladies and gents, let's keep this Kai Havertz train going. What do you think? What type of money would it take to get Kai Havertz in from Bayer Leverkusen next season? It's a difficult one to gauge, isn't it? But he does, as somebody pointed out earlier on, he will be a perfect backup. Well, you don't really want to keep him as a backup, but he would be perfect if Bobby Firmino got injured. Be perfect to have him there. I read a very interesting article in the Echo earlier on as well that almost spelled out what Liverpool would be looking to do in the 2020 summer window. There was talk of a forward. There was talk of perhaps refreshing the midfield with James Milner and that getting a little bit older, shall we say. There was talk of maybe looking at the midfield, and then of course the defensive situation as well. As things stand, I believe Joel Matip's out of contract at the end of this season, so we'd have to look at that one as well. Maybe fullbacks we've spoken about before. Stuart Ferguson said Sokratis well in, lads. Pissing myself laughing. He's look, I understand. It was one of these things when he said it, the media jumped all over it. I was part of that. I did it for getting people onto the stream to wind them up. Of course I did. It's part of the game here, but at the same time, what he said was basically that they were just more physical. That's the gist of it. Did anybody know Brewster supports West Ham? Said Owen McCarthy 41. I didn't know that, mate. You do. You live and learn, don't you? Jay-Zoo says, I'd say 80 to 120 million for Kai Havertz. Maybe 100 million for Havertz and Anthony Cronin. Breadsticks reckons no cheaper than 120 million. It's a lot of wedge, isn't it? It's a lot of money, but if it's the right player, it's the right player. And as I said to you guys earlier on in this window, I think there's a reason why we didn't act and spend a lot of money in this summer's window, and it is with that look towards next summer. The article I read in the Echo also backed up what myself, Brian Morrissey and Dave Henry have been saying as well, that Liverpool don't do their transfer windows 6 months in advance. Liverpool are looking 18 months, 2 years down the line when they're looking at their transfers and they're looking at their targets, and Kai Havertz will probably fit into that category of somebody that they looked at over the past 18 months or so. 90 million was quoted for this summer, maybe more by next summer, said Stephen Booker. Mate, I'd imagine so. You know the way the market's going, it's nuts. Absolutely nuts. A couple of people in the lower estimate or lower end of the estimates as well. Liz reckons maybe 40, 45. I don't think it'll be anywhere near that cheap, my friend. I think it will be definitely the high double digits. Yeah, I would say more the high double digits. Mr. Chavez reckons 50 to 70 million. Stephen Richards, 100 million euro for Kai Havertz, which, God, the way the euro is against sterling at the minute, that's probably about, what, 90? Something like that. When Bayern wanted to sign Leverkusen, said 100 million, said Serge. I understand that as well, mate. Yeah, I can see where it's coming from. He is somebody who has very good numbers. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I do remember looking at them thinking, yeah, I can understand why. I'm going to watch more of him this season. I am going to track him, not just from the Football Index side, but from the fact that Liverpool are looking at him. He is somebody I need to be watching more of. And look, it gives me an excuse to watch more Bundesliga, doesn't it? 25.5 million, said Nathan Wright. Not a chance, mate. It's going to be much more expensive than that. We could get Pookie for less in January, said Tony Farrell. What a start to the season Timo Pookie has had. What a start. 4 goals in 2 games. I think a lot of people have put him into their fantasy teams as well. I have to admit, I've done it. The Hawk Lord said Havertz is on the contract until 2022 and Leverkusen expect to raise 100 million euro for them from his sale. Thank you, mate. And it's probably a fair market value, to be honest. It's mad talking about that and saying, oh yeah, that's probably fair. Isn't it 100 million? But that's the way the market's going. You wouldn't get McTominay's left bollock in today's window for 40 million to the LFC 80-92. Would anybody want it though? I'm not talking about him as the player, but left testicle. I don't think anybody wants his left testicle. Saying that, I was going through the list of banned accounts earlier on because somebody emailed me. Actually, no, it wasn't an email. Somebody DM'd me asking could I remove them from the banned list because, I don't know, for whatever reason. And if somebody reaches out to apologise, I'm always happy to listen. So I was going in and I always get a little chuckle when I look through the list of banned accounts. And one of them was Craig's left testicle. But there was no Craig's right testicle account, which was a little bit upsetting. I mean, why so much love for the left testicle? Why none for the right? I'm left-handed. I don't know. It definitely wasn't me though, I can say that much. The Algarve is watching. Wow, welcome. How are we? The Algarve, somewhere I've been 3 times, like Portugal. Very fond of it, hope to get back there soon. Basil, thank you very much. Joshua Hoy said, Havertz, Firmino, Salah and Mane, if we get them, other teams will have no chance. Oh mate, it's exciting, isn't it? It really is exciting. So, Kai Havertz, Jadon Sancho. Who do you want, ladies and gents? If I had to give you one of these 2 players right now, and I think, am I right in saying Jadon Sancho has signed a new deal at Borussia Dortmund or is about to sign a new deal that will double his wages? That to me doesn't mean that he won't be available for sale next summer. There might be a clause actually in there with a sell-on fee, I don't know, but either way I think there was a contract on the table there, or maybe he signed it. But who would you want, Jadon Sancho or Kai Havertz? If I can give you one of them next summer for Liverpool, ladies and gents, who would you take? Let's get that Nike kit deal done so we can get some talent next summer, said Neil McDonough. I think what the club are doing is obviously the decent thing and allowing New Balance to sell as many fucking kits as they can get out at this moment in time, and they will announce whatever the new kit manufacturer will be in due time. Wade said Havertz will go to Bayern. That's what I read, mate. That's what I touched on earlier on. It's Wadey one. Excuse me, mate. I'm ruining your name there. Wadey112 said Havertz will go to Bayern. That is what I read previously, but I don't know. Sometimes German players want to stay in the Bundesliga and they look at Bayern Munich perhaps as the pinnacle. It obviously puts them in really good standing for the national team as well, but European champions at the moment, mate. You know what I mean? We are a pretty desirable club. Stephen Richard said, Craig, it's been 7 days since the Super Cup victory. 7 days since Adrian saved that penalty, mate, and piss was boiling at Chelsea fans. He was 6 inches off the line. That's all they were going on about. Nothing about the Tammy Abraham dive for the penalty. But look, it is what it is. We are Super Cup champions, Stephen. It's lovely, isn't it? I have this lovely photo of Mo and Virgil van Dijk kind of arm in arm with Mo with the cup in his hand. It makes me smile every time I look at it. Callum said Sancho will go to Manchester United. I have definitely seen links there, Callum, mate. I definitely have. 100 million was the opening offer I believe they were going in with from what I'd read, but I don't know. There's been a long interest in Jadon Sancho from United, but there has also been a lot of compliments paid his way from Jurgen Klopp, and I suppose a lot will depend on maybe what position Manchester United are in, Callum, this season. If they don't get Champions League football again, will he go there? Will the club sanction that much money again? Will they change manager? I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting season. Kev's LFC Artwork said, I'm off to Portugal in May for our anniversary. You'll enjoy it, mate. And look, it's a long way away, but happy anniversary all the way in May. But yeah, you will enjoy it. I'm sure maybe you've been before, but it's a lovely place. Anthony said Havertz without a doubt. ST Tricks said Sancho. Havertz for Liz. Sancho for Hambo. Sancho, he's tier 1, said AJ. Havertz for me, but I take either of them. I take either of them, Will. I'm in that position as well, mate. I trust the gaffer's judgment on them, but I would take either. I've probably seen a little bit more of Sancho. But either would do rather nicely, wouldn't it? LFC said, thanks for sponsoring the Liverpool Football Twitter FC account. My pleasure, mate. Happy to be involved. The more Reds we can bring together in any way, pal, for any little fun projects, then why not? Why not indeed? And thank you for having me. Pleasure to be involved. John Hamilton said, Nike deal will give them an option to insist we sign specific players they want, which is a dumb thing to allow, in my humble opinion. Would it? I don't know, John. I'm sure you've done a lot of research on this, mate. I haven't. I don't want. I get where you're coming from. I don't ever want Liverpool to be in that position where a shirt manufacturer are pushing players on the club because they believe we'd sell a shit ton of shirts. I get where you're coming from, mate. It will be interesting to see how that one plays out. Joshua Hoy said, when do you think Liverpool will announce a new kit manufacturer? Probably after Christmas, I would say. I mean, they got to be respectful to New Balance. They've got to allow them. Like last year was a record-breaking deal, I think, for kit sales, specifically of the home shirt. This season, again, it'll be interesting to see how their numbers go. But I think, they just want to make sure that New Balance can sell as many kits as possible, and they'll announce it in due course. I'm completely guessing when I say after Christmas. I don't know. I am waiting with bated breath to see who it is, I have to say. Havertz is somebody to push Bobby on to make him play better, said Scotty. Any news on Kent? Why, I do actually, Scott. It's like you're reading my mind, pal. Well in. I do have a little bit of news on Ryan Kent. Where am I? 1 second. So, there were a few rumours floating around yesterday that Ryan Kent was perhaps going to go back on loan to Rangers for the rest of this season. The Echo have come out and said that they don't believe this to be the case. The Reds' insistence all summer has been that Ryan Kent is available, but only for a permanent sale and not for a loan. It'll be interesting to see how that changes, because I think the European window, and I'm not sure on the Scottish one, I'm sure somebody can fill me in here, but I know most of the European windows close on September the 2nd, so there's still time out there for him to get that move. I know there's a lot of love for him to go back to Rangers. I know Rangers really want him up there. Steven Gerrard spoke very highly of him. Gary McAllister spoke very highly of him. They just can't seem to afford the deal. I think 12 million, roughly around that. Now, I've seen lower figures mentioned as well, but 10, 12 million maybe is the asking price for Ryan Kent. And I don't think that that's over the top. I really don't. I think that's quite realistic in this market. So maybe Rangers can look at a deal where they commit to buy him next summer. I don't know, but for Ryan Kent and Ryan Kent alone, I want it to be sorted out, because I know how much that young man wants to just get on with his career, get his head down and play, and I hope it works out for him, because I genuinely don't see him a Liverpool player long term. Havertz might not go to Bayern if they decide to buy Coutinho next summer. It's a good point. Ishmael. And I'm not sure if there's an agreement to buy in there for Coutinho. I know that there's a fixed amount, 120 million euro or something like that, but I'm not sure if it's an option or an actual commitment. Maybe somebody in the chat would know. Sancho's an ambassador for FIFA 20, said Owen McCarthy. Maddison and Sancho, two good signings. I mean, I do like the look of James Maddison, I have to say. I know if Boy is watching, he's going, you just can't hunk off, you're not getting him. He does look a good player. Yes, I like both your shouts there, mate. Mo can walk on water advert. Yeah, I put it up earlier on. I did retweet it from the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. If anyone hasn't seen it, it's a good ad. Mo boots a football into, I think it looks like a lake or a river, and then runs across the water, because he's Mo Salah. You know what I mean? The Egyptian king. He does what he wants. He can walk on water. There's nothing the man can't do. Right, what else we got? What are your thoughts on Bobby Duncan? Well, it's that he's not going out on loan. Actually, Rian, while we're talking about that. Very difficult to gauge somebody that young. Paul Glatzel, I never know how you pronounce that man's name. He's picked up a serious injury, which we know is going to keep him out. So Bobby Duncan is going to get a lot of headlines this season and score a lot of goals. It will be interesting to see how he gets on. Is he still only 18 years of age? Banging in goals for fun. Him and Glatzel last season, absolutely putting up numbers. If he continues to do that, which it looks like he will, yeah, the manager's going to be paying attention. And I think that's why they don't want to loan him out. I think Jurgen Klopp wants to keep him there so we can keep an eye on him, keep a look at his progression. But he does look like a very exciting player. At this moment, though, obviously he'd be behind Ray and Brewster and that in the pecking order, and time is on his side. He's only 18 years of age. Unblock fine for me. Now, mate, I couldn't be arsed. Honestly, I'm not going through and unblocking everybody. I haven't got time. For me to go and unblock somebody, it takes about 25 minutes of me looking through the list, because there's that many blocked. And I definitely won't be doing it in the middle of a stream. So my guess is just create another account. If I have time, I'll try, but I can't promise that I'll do it. Just hit me up on Twitter and remind me, and that's probably your best one. I will try. If I get a chance, I'll have a look, but I can't promise because I'm quite busy at the minute. Yard or Kovalev? Kovalev. You got to go Kovalev. I mean, Yard could spring a surprise, but it's in Kovalev's backyard. Kovalev knows that if he gets through this fight against Anthony Yard, that there could well be a fight against Canelo. Canelo looking to win a world title in a 4th weight division. That fight's on the horizon for Kovalev if he gets the win. So it'll be interesting. Yard's going to have to go there and KO him. I don't think he's going to get a points win in Russia. So It'll be an interesting fight. It definitely will. Peter Van der Shand, early night. Talk over the weekend, mate. Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Right, what else we got? Congrats on 21,000 subs from Smuddy, the United Stand. Mate, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And great to have you over with us. Love to get your thoughts on your own start to the season. Yeah, I really would. I'd love to know what you think of United. What a goal from Ruben Neves to pinch a point away. And then, of course, Paul Pogba missing the penalty. Now, on that, actually, I want to take a second. You guys know my stance on any type of hatred, whether it be race-related, religious-related, sexual orientation, whatever it might be. So we've seen 2 instances lately where Tammy Abraham obviously missed a penalty, got a lot of abuse, got a lot of racial abuse, and Paul Pogba missed a penalty against Wolves, and the same has happened again. I'm embarrassed for our sport, ladies and gents. I'm embarrassed that this type of stuff is creeping back in. We do not need it. These are footballers. Do you know what I mean? They missed a penalty. It can happen to anybody. It even happened to James Milner. James Milner. Not the racial stuff, I mean missing the penalty. I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted. I'm not somebody that when this type of things comes about, I push all rivalries aside. These are human beings. They're footballers. They're young men out there. Yeah, they're paid a shit ton of money. Yeah, they're open to be critiqued. Yes, they're open to be told they're shit. All the normal stuff that football fans do. But we cannot allow this to come back into our game. Now, I know there's calls for Twitter and Facebook and other forms of social media to do their part as well. And yes, they will have to. But us as fans together, we need to stand together in these issues. Whether it be to do with sexual orientation, somebody's religion, somebody's race, xenophobia, anything. We need to stand together. If you hear it in the stands, alert somebody. If you want to call them out on it, if that's your own business, but alert somebody. Let the clubs know. If you see it in social media, report it. It's not something we need back in the sport. It's a beautiful game, a game that does so much to bring people together. We don't want the sport that we love being used for hate. We don't want the sport that we love being used as a vehicle to fuel these idiots, these morons, these people that have no place in society, that are hiding behind the anonymity that the internet provides. We can't allow this to happen, ladies and gents. Together we need to call these motherfuckers out because it's our sport. It's our sport as a collective, whether you're a Liverpool fan, United fan, City fan, Chelsea fan, whoever it might be. Some things are beyond club rivalries, beyond tribalism. This is about humanity. This is about doing the decent thing. And I know nobody wants racism in the sport. I know nobody wants homophobia in the sport. I know nobody wants people to be held up or belittled for their religious beliefs. Nobody wants that. People just want to look at a footballer and that's what they see. Kids look at these athletes and they don't see colour. They don't see nationality. They don't see sexual orientation. They see a superstar. They see their idols. They see somebody that they look up to, that they get in the back of their shirt, that they go out on the street kicking the ball about with their mates, being Paul Pogba, being Tammy Abraham, whoever it may be. And that's what the beautiful game is about, my friends. I don't like to come on and talk about it, but as I keep saying, we can't ignore it. We all have a duty. I have a platform here, a small platform, but a platform nonetheless. And I need to make a strong point that this shit can't come in. It can't come back into our damn sport. It's too important that we make a stand together and let these fuckers know that there's no place for them in our sport or in our society. And I know you guys will be with me on this one. So look, I just wanted to say that while we were talking about Pogba for a second, and when somebody from the United Stand popped in to say hello, I just wanted to make that point. So thank you for bearing with me. Right, what else we got? He DM'd me earlier. Well, whoever DM'd me earlier was unblocked. One person. I mean, I haven't got time to spend all day on Twitter going through DMs, but I'll try later on if I get a chance. And I'm not mentioning things on stream, mate. I mean, that's not how this works. People stop DMing me. I mean, I'm happy to help out in little bits and pieces, but I'm not here to give shout outs to people, to big up your Twitter accounts and stuff. That isn't how this works, mate. And that's not the type of person that I am. Yeah, I'm here to talk about Liverpool, not to big up people's accounts. Are racists really true supporters? No, Paul, mate, they're not. They're idiots. Idiots, and they're hiding behind the anonymity that social media provides for them. And I got to be honest about something else while we're talking about this. There's a lot of calls, and Harry Maguire was one of the people that mentioned it, and it's been mentioned before, that we should start having to provide passports or driver's licenses or address verification or something like that. Well, I've got to be honest. I ain't giving my fucking passport details or my driver's license to Twitter or Facebook. Not happening. Our data has been passed around, sold, and our information shared enough for my liking without me having to hand over passports or driver's licenses. Now, if it was at a point where it was a state body that was brought in and they verified these things, then yeah, I'd probably feel a bit better and I'd give them my details, of course. I don't want racism online or on social media or in football. But at the same time, you got to understand people's nerves when it comes to handing over that type of information, particularly with the amount of data breaches that we've seen from big companies over the years. I understand people's hesitations, and we do need to find something to sort this out. Param, how are you, mate? Welcome. Thanks for taking the stand against racism. Look, it should be. It's stupid that I'm even having to say this, or that any of us are having to address this, because it shouldn't be here. It's a disgrace. Players, kids could read that stuff. Racists should be ashamed. Nothing to be proud of there, said Jan. Completely agree, my friend. Should track them down and shame them. See, I'm somebody that believes in free speech. I'm somebody that believes strongly in free speech, and free speech sometimes involves us hearing things that we don't want to hear. Now, this is a hate crime. This is different, but I'm also somebody that believes when you're faced with something like this, that if we just keep banning people and pushing them underground and moving them away and saying, get off our platform, fuck off over here, move there, they'll form somewhere else. They'll come together. For me, I think you need to address these things head on. You need to sit down and have dialogue. And dialogue is what will educate people. And educate people, whether it be youngsters, whether it be people who are from a different generation, whether it be people who are from different belief systems, whether it be for religious reasons or whatever. Dialogue is always the way forward for me. Sit down, have a chat. You'll find common ground. You'll educate people. And that will also help with the hatred. Because the hatred becomes easier when people are vilified and they're pushed away and they're put into the shadows. And I've been thinking about this type of stuff a lot lately, if I'm being honest. Probably more than I should, but that's my little bit on it, ladies and gents. Sorry, thank you for enduring that, if that's the right word. People are people. Depeche Mode needs to be played several times in the grounds. Think it could be part of the solution to racism. Depeche Mode. That's a big shout. I do like Depeche Mode, Joanne, but that's a big shout. What name do I get in my kits? The one, I didn't get any this season. Last season I got one on the purple kit and I got Naby Keita. As I said, I do like Naby. Since Liverpool won their 6th Champions League, does that mean they're a bigger club than Bayern Munich? I mean, these things are subjective, really, aren't they, mate? More Champions Leagues than Bayern Munich, more Champions Leagues than Barcelona. But yeah, like, things are subjective. I mean, we're a big club. I think we should just be happy with that one. Say no to racism, said Anthony Cronin. Damn right, pal. Jesus said, Matip has improved so much after going in place of Joe Gomez when he was injured. Yes, totally agree with you, mate. I was looking ahead and doing my team prediction for the weekend against Arsenal, and that is... Usually I have a headache in midfield when I try and figure that out. But yeah, the Matip Gomez situation is... It's a difficult call for the manager. I really do have to say that. I'd probably go Gomez for the Arsenal game because of his pace, but I can absolutely understand people's shouts for either one. Scotty said, I personally think the police need to up their game on these, not arrested, but talk to them and tell them what they've done. Yeah, I mean... The thing about social media and Twitter is, like, if you have an account, you go on, you racially abuse somebody, your account gets booted off, you just set up another one. You set up it straight away and you come back on, you start with the same type of nonsense again. Seahawk said, Dejan Lovren said he was dealing with this more than 20 years ago, but this is 2019. Discriminating because of the colour of someone's skin is beyond ridiculous. Mate, it is. It's disgusting. Pointless. I mean, the discrimination is pointless, sorry. Not us talking about it. This is very much necessary. Bernadette said, I stopped using Facebook 4 years ago, hardly use Twitter and don't have Instagram. They've been used for all the wrong reasons. They've been weaponized to an extent, Bernadette. Yes, they have. I don't use Facebook for other reasons that aren't actually the data reasons, if I'm being perfectly honest, because like yourself, it goes back a few years for me, Bernadette. I think I'm off Facebook 5 or 6 years. I'm a very active Twitter user. Those of you that are on Twitter know that. Instagram, Connor runs that account, so I can't really speak about it. Right, let's move on anyway. Not sure about Havertz. He's a great player, but I have a feeling he'll choose Bayern over us. That's probably where the smart money would go. H._F. If I was sticking a few quid down, I'd probably lean towards Bayern at this moment in time. No Skill reckons that we're going to beat Arsenal 3-1 at the weekend. 3-1 or 4-1 is my prediction as well, mate. Good shout. It's going to be an entertaining game of football. I always look forward to our games against Arsenal because they're two teams that generally try to play football in an attractive way, and Arsenal have added some quality with Dani Ceballos. They brought in Nicolas Pepe, of course. Tierney, who isn't available yet, I don't think. I know I'm forgetting somebody else. Oh, they signed David Luiz as well, haven't they? And of course, that young centre-back that they loaned back to France. I'm just confident. I'm really confident Liverpool are going to pick up the 3 points. Sebastian Percy, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Dave, our good friend Dave's LFC chats. How are you, buddy? Who's the guy we're going to buy next summer? The French kid. We had a hashtag for it. Hashtag WFM. WFM is we're fucking massive. That's not for a player, mate. That's we're fucking massive. That's what that means. We did look at a young guy from Paris FC, not PSG, but Paris FC, a striker. I think it was ourselves in Barcelona were tracking him. I don't remember the guy's name, if I'm being honest. I don't know if that's the player you're talking about either. Ladies and gents, how are you? I hope you're keeping well. If you are enjoying tonight's stream, as you can see, we're only 5 subscribers away from our next 100 target. So if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that button. And of course, drop a thumbs up as well on the stream. Did I ask anybody about the football index? If anybody signed up, say, I don't know, what phrase can we use? Say, yes, I have. If you've signed up the football index, because we're trying to get a gauge of if it's working, or if people like it, or what they find the product to be like. So if you're somebody that signed up the football index using the link below or our sign up code, please do let us know, and let us know what you think of it as well. It's always important to get feedback. Trent can play midfield, said Jamie Hollow. Indeed he can, but he is so good at right back, mate. He's so good at right back. I don't want to move it into midfield. I know, call me selfish, but he's so damn good at right back, and he's only 20. That frightens me at times. He might not get a game at Bayern, I'd be quietly confident. Well, to be fair, Stephen, we're better than Bayern Munich. We've proved that last season. If he doesn't get a game at Bayern, he's less chance of getting a game at Liverpool, if I'm being honest about it. I mean, we have probably a stronger squad, in my opinion. I'm just saying, if that was a reason, I would say maybe. I don't know. It's all subjective, I suppose. Both clubs going to have a lot of games to play as well, so there is that. Dylan Kelly said, heading over to Anfield on Saturday, cannot wait. Enjoy it, mate. I've been to a couple of games against Arsenal, and yeah, as I said, they're usually entertaining, and a 5:30 kickoff as well. It's a nice time. Enjoy yourself, and let us know how you get on. Leno's going to need lube on Saturday, said AJ. I feel bad for Bolton, said JDB. Themselves and Bury at the minute, they're not going through a great time. You do feel bad for both clubs. Can't see us not beating Arsenal, said Mark Forrest. Mark, I'm with you, mate. I know people will come on and say you're being arrogant, but it's Arsenal. We genuinely beat Arsenal at home, and our front three love playing against Arsenal. I think Bobby Firmino has scored in the last, I don't know, some ridiculous amount of games in a row against Arsenal, or some ridiculous amount of goals. I don't know the stat off the top of my head. I'm more nervous to face Arsenal than last season, I have to say, but I still think we'll grab the 3 points at H._F. Nice to see you back, Craig. Love the videos. Derek said hello to you as well and all the best. Thank you, Jenny, and hello to both of you. And it was nice to have a day off yesterday, but I do miss you motherfuckers when I have a day off, so it is lovely to come back on and see everybody. Paris FC striker Silas, oh god, I'm gonna have an awful time here. Wamangituka? Oh my god, I'm so bad at names. That's the name you can't remember. Pronounce it, Craig. I tried and failed miserably, Dean, as I always do. More faith in youth than Bayern Munich, said Stephen Booker. You're the best, Craig. Derek says hello. Hello to both of you. Honestly, thank you so much for the kind words. Liz Golden said, hashtag super unbearable. I like it, Liz. I like it a lot. Not just unbearables, we're upping it a bit. We're upping our game. Did you see Oxlade-Chamberlain defending Coutinho on Instagram saying Coutinho doesn't need to prove himself? I did. And as I said before, he is one of the most, if not the most, media-savvy footballer I remember. And he's a damn nice guy as well, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. And he's right. Coutinho doesn't need to prove himself. Didn't work out from a Barcelona. He's moved on. His career will go on. He'll still do good things. And he did great things at Liverpool. So, yeah, I get where Oxlade-Chamberlain's coming from. And it's good to see him stick up for a fellow pro. Darlia said, Havertz is a player we should try to get. He's also could be the player that plays the Firmino role as we need cover there. Very much agree. It's a good show. He'd definitely be more likely to get a game at Bayern. He's German. Does that really have anything to do with if you're going to start or not at Bayern Munich just because you're German? I don't know. Maybe it does. I'm genuinely asking this. And B, Munich have a lot of ageing, recently retired attackers compared to us having a relatively young squad. It's a fair point. Lewandowski probably getting towards the latter part of his career. Will Timo Werner be his replacement long term? I don't know. But the point somebody made earlier on is a very good point around the fact that could they afford Kai Havertz? Now I know Bayern Munich are a wealthy club, but if you're committed to perhaps paying €120 million, 20 million of that, only 7.5 or 8 million of that actually paid up front. That's a lot of money to commit to as well. Will they have much money to shape their squad? I don't know. There's a lot of clubs for me stretching themselves financially. Looking at the potential deal that Barcelona want to do for Neymar. So they're already trying to say that they'll take him along with a commitment to buy. They've just signed Griezmann as well. If that doesn't work out, or they don't get the payback from that they're hoping for, they're financially screwed. They are really, really stretching themselves, Barcelona, from a financial perspective. And there's a couple of clubs looking to do that, which kind of makes you appreciate the way we're being run at the minute. Kevin Oliver said, Houssem Aouar is the Lyon midfielder the top English clubs will compete for. I'm surprised nobody tried to get him this summer, mate. Now, I know Lyon sold a few players and they probably said enough is enough, but I am surprised nobody tried to go for him because he does look like a top player. Bobby is 8 goals in 8 games against Arsenal, said Will. 8 goals in 8 games. He's going to be rubbing his hands together, isn't he, waiting for the weekend? Danny, how are you, mate? Welcome in. UK Beat said Havertz is class. Should we get Dembele from Barcelona? I think it's going to work out for him. I don't know if it'll be at Barcelona or not, but career-wise, I really think Dembele still has a lot to give. I like him. I don't know about his attitude. I've read lots of things about his attitude, but there wasn't really much talk of him leaving Barcelona this window. There is somebody who's been muted with a move away from Barcelona before this window closes, and that is a former Liverpool player in Luis Suarez. Yep, you heard me right. Luis Suarez has been linked with a move away from Barcelona, and the odds have shortened with many bookies on him joining Juventus in this window. Yes, Juventus. It'll be interesting to see. Has anybody else read anything on this one or have any more information on Luis Suarez perhaps joining up with Cristiano Ronaldo? Would that mean that Dybala perhaps will definitely move on, perhaps to Paris Saint-Germain or somewhere else? It's an interesting one that kind of came out of nowhere when I'd seen it. Luis Suarez, who very good terms with Lionel Messi, very close, very good friends with Neymar, maybe coming back in, and them having moved on Coutinho, I would have thought that Suarez would have been somebody that would have liked to have keep there, but yeah, linked with a move to Juventus, who are doing some good business over the past few windows. They really are establishing themselves again as one of the top clubs in Europe. Okay, where are we? Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. I think Lewandowski's 32, so Anthony Cronin, he's getting on in age. I don't know exactly what age he is, but he's definitely getting on in age. Anthony Taylor, yes, he's the referee for the Reds game against Arsenal on Saturday, for those that didn't know. Anthony Taylor will be, I have actually all the information on this. Anthony Taylor will be the referee in charge of the game of the weekend, and the VAR officials will be Stuart Atwell, and his assistant will be Andy Halliday. So for those of you that like that type of information. I keep asking questions and I keep fucking forgetting to check the answers. I asked about the football index thing and I actually scrolled past without checking if anybody had. Sorry, can I re-ask this question? If you'd signed up the football index, give me a yes I have or something like that to let me know. Do Barcelona still owe us money? No. I think everything from what I read an article, I read it out in the last stream. I'm just trying to think from the top of my head. It said that we were losing out on a potential 5 million. I think the rest of it has been paid, or the clause is triggered anyway, and that Liverpool may only lose out on around 5 million of that Coutinho money. What's my worst and best moment as a Liverpool fan? Best moment was Istanbul, without a shadow of a doubt. Worst moment... What was my worst moment as a Liverpool fan? Probably, it's not really a game. The whole time that the Hicks and Gillette sale, that whole period where the club just wasn't in a good place. We had a very, very serious threat hanging over our heads of administration. That was a horrible, horrible time, and I was just so thankful when it was over and they were forced out. And then they made that shitty video. Do you remember with him in his fucking cowboy boots, Liverpool cowboy boots, and it was just Hicks was just so fucking cringy. It was just a horrible, horrible time that the fans having to go about trying to get the owners out, and they did an amazing job. They actually showed how to utilise and how to get fans groups together to get stuff done. But yeah, that was a horrible, horrible time around the club. And for anybody who hasn't read Brian Reed's excellent book, I would say have a read of it. What's the name of the book? It's something about cowboys. Fucking hell, I can't remember the name of the book off the top of my head now. Somebody will know in the chat. Anyway, Brian Reed's book about the ownership of Hicks and Gillette and that period. Something Cowboys. I can't exactly remember the name of it, but I'm sure somebody in the chat will let us know. It's a great book, really worth reading. I apologise to Brian Reed that I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will know, and I'll call it out when I see it in the chat. The short-termism is stupid, said somebody. I don't know what that's about. Dembele's out for 5 weeks. He just got injured again, so Anthony Cronin. Luis Suarez to Juventus, we just touched on. I feel sorry for Everton, said Stuart Ferguson. Why, mate? Honestly, I'm genuinely intrigued. Why? Dean Dixon said, we seem to be giving away a lot of chances against Southampton, Norwich, Chelsea. Why do I think that is? We're still not up to full fitness, mate. We're still working our way into the season. We're playing catch up. Norwich are going to cause teams problems this season. They're a good side. Southampton, yeah, look, it was a combination. We were cruising really until that mistake from Adrian, and then Danny Ings missed a sitter as well that could have equalised. Chelsea, yeah, look, there's a lot to be said for why that game went the way it did. It was in tremendous heat. After the lads had played a game at the weekend, and both teams played a game at the weekend, there's a lot for why that game was the way it was. This game will be interesting the weekend. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how our defence handles that Arsenal attack, and I'm expecting them to up their game. I really am. Klopp has a full week on the training ground with them this week to get ready for the game. I'm expecting an improved performance all around, and I'm genuinely really excited about this game. I always love our games against Arsenal. Dembele's an amazing talent, but made of glass, said Frisbee Hound. 1-0 to the Ox after that. We don't talk about that channel, mate. We're just not mentioning that channel on the stream. Sorry. John Hamilton said Craig will be signing up the Football Index later on tonight. Nice one, mate. Don't forget, the link is in the description, mate. And if you need anything, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. I knew a lot of people were going to talk about Gerrard slip, Hillsborough, all that type of stuff. Yes, I could have gone that route. I could have gone for both. Quite frankly, part of the reason I didn't say it was I didn't want to talk about either. I didn't want to bring either up again. And we've obviously lived through the sadness and the devastation of Hillsborough. We're still hearing about Gerrard's fucking slip from opposition fans. So yeah, I just wanted to be a little bit different in my answer and kind of, yeah, just be a little bit different, just because I didn't want to talk about either of those two subjects, to be honest. Alan Byrne said, I love this stream. This is my sit down and chill out time. No more days off. I'll get bored without this. Good job. I thought you were talking about you having no more days off there for a minute, mate. But Tuesdays will be probably my only day off each week because I go to see a psychologist every Tuesday and generally not in the headspace to come on afterwards because I'd probably be a bit cranky. So I take Tuesdays off. Usually we've got our Fantasy Premier League show, which we did record actually before this stream. So that'll be going out early tomorrow morning. Brian and Billy talking all things Fantasy Premier League. Do keep an eye out for that one. It'll probably be dropping around 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning UK time. So again, check that one out. Good news, podcast coming up tomorrow night as well. Live podcast. So you're going to get double Anfield agenda tomorrow night. Myself, Brian Morrissey and Dave Henry will be doing a preview of the Arsenal game. That will be starting at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night. And that will go in rather nicely to tomorrow night's late night agenda, which will be following that show. So you're going to have us from 8:30 tomorrow night, probably right through till 11:15. So I hope you can join us for both those shows. And of course, check out the Fantasy Premier League show in the morning. That was an awful time, said Frisbee Hound with regards to Hicks and Gillette. It was. Yeah, it was. It wasn't great. Craig Adams, how are you, mate? I was just saying earlier on, you said you're late into the chat, just back from the Cardiff Huddersfield game. Nice one. I hope you enjoyed it. Yes, you've increased your investment in Havertz to 8 shares. I finally bought a couple of shares, Craig. I was saying that earlier on to the chat. Finally took your advice, mate, and bought some shares in Kai Havertz. So I will keep an eye on those. I'd like to see some minutes for Brewster on the pitch this season, said James Doherty. If and when we get ahead by a few goals in a game. The problem is though, James, as things stand, mate, with the Premier League squad, he's not even getting into the bench because there's 7 places on the bench. It is 7, isn't it? Yeah, 7 places I believe on the bench, and it's difficult for the gaffer to give up a place and put him in there. So I want to see him as well. I really do, but I can also understand how tricky it is for the manager to pick the right moments. But you know, that's why Kloppo's paid the big bucks, isn't it? My best moment, undoubtedly, Istanbul. My worst moment was Roy Hodgson in charge. Yeah, God, just thinking back, that period was a time where no manager probably wanted to take the job because as big of a club as we are, we were in a bad place at that moment in time. And having Hodgson come in just double underlines and highlights that, doesn't it? Ever thought about Adrian being our main penalty taker? No, can't say I have, Harry, mate. He won't be on the pitch most of the time, so. An epic swindle, thank you. Here's me saying it was something to do with Cowboys. An epic swindle. Really appreciate that, ladies and gents, for those of you that bailed me out on that. And there was a few. John Hamilton, that was not the deal, and a few others as well. Thank you. Yes, Brian Reed's amazing book was called An Epic Swindle. Thank you. Which was the phrase that I think it was Hicks used to describe the way that the club was taken from them or they were forced to sell. But yes, thank you. That was the name of it. Very good book. And anything Brian Reed does is pretty damn good, to be honest. 44 months with a pair of Cowboys, Stephen Booker. Yeah, it was called An Epic Swindle. And then I think the second part came after that, as you said, 44 months with a pair of Cowboys. But yeah, highly recommend the book. How's Connor's throat, said Bernadette. I haven't really heard much from him over the past few days because he has been unwell, so I've kind of just been trying to leave him be. And I had a little chat with him earlier on when he was at the doctor's just to make sure he was okay and he got some antibiotics and stuff. Connor Niblet said Pepe will be in Robbo's pocket, Lacazette will be in Virgil's pocket, and Aubameyang will be in Trent's pocket. We've got the best defence in the world. I so wanted to sing a song there, mate, but I'll leave it be. Nobody needs to hear me sing. It's got to be a good game though, Connor, isn't it? I'm really looking forward to that one. My prediction was 4-1. Again, we'll get your predictions, ladies and gents, whenever you want to put them in. But don't forget, as I said, tomorrow we'll be doing a preview pod. So if you've anything you want to talk about in relation to the Arsenal game, anything you want me to put to the guys, get your questions ready for tomorrow. We'll be starting that pod at 8:30. Paul Stewart in midfield. I was ready to section myself when I watched him, said Stuart Ferguson. Bit vicious there, mate. Excuse me. Craig Chalner said, hey Craig, did you ever see Wilson reaching the first team under Klopp? No, not really. Look, Mr. Crosby is in the chat. Here he is. Good. Glad to see you win, Connor. But back to Craig Challoner. No, I don't. I really don't, mate. I don't think he's good enough. The That's just my opinion, and I'm happy to be wrong. I'd be delighted to be wrong. But yeah, you asked my genuine opinion, and no, I don't. But he has a good opportunity at Bournemouth to show his worth in the Premier League, so it will be interesting to see how he gets on. Obviously, 1 goal in the bag already. Is it getting late to watch Mindhunter? I don't know, I've never watched it, mate. I'll leave that one with you. Joe Cole was our star signing on the Roy and the Cowboy owners at the time. Sad days. Yeah, it was Joe Cole. Like, I mean, you could go through some of them. Cole, Konchesky, who's the guy in midfield? Cole, Konchesky. There was that free signing that we brought in from like Standard Liège or somewhere. What was his name? Oh God, what was the fucking guy's name? There was Christian Poulsen in midfield. Cole, Konchesky. I can't think of the guy's name up front now. I'm sure again somebody. This is why I have such a shit memory. But yeah, well, they were dark days, mate. They really were. What was the guy's name up front? Jovanovic, Milan Jovanovic. Yeah, dark days, dark days. If you could swap VVD for Prime Terry, would you do it? No, I wouldn't. And I do rate Prime John Terry, by the way. Don't get me wrong. Him, Rio Ferdinand, class defenders. But no, I wouldn't. I love Verge. I'd rather see Virgil in a Liverpool shirt as well than John Terry. Or Peaky Blinders, as he shall now be known. Hicks insisted he was swindled during the sale. Such a douche, said Liz. Yep. We have a great phrase for that, Liz, on this stream, as you know. Fuck him. To quote the great Dave Henry, fuck him. Points mean prizes. Reds just beat Arsenal on Saturday, said Dave. Yes and yes. And what else we got? Jovanovic, yeah. Oh, even shivers. Poulsen was brought in to replace Mascherano. I mean, tells you everything, doesn't it? Bringing in Christian Poulsen to replace Javier Mascherano. Oh God, that is disgusting. It's disgusting to even say it. We tried to sign Carlton Cole. Oh, I'm getting embarrassed just reading these out, thinking back. Oh my God. What else we got? I thought Jovanovic was going to be class, said Connor Crosby. I'll own up to something during that period as well, Connor. I thought that when we got Joe Cole in and we moved on Yossi Benayoun, I think we got Joe Cole on a free, and I think we got about 5 million or something for Yossi Benayoun, moving him in the other direction to Chelsea. And I remember sitting back thinking, oh, we've done them. We've absolutely done Chelsea there. We got the better of that deal. As good as I thought Yossi Benayoun was, and I did enjoy having him as a Liverpool player, I thought, yeah, Joe Cole, he's going to come in now and he's going to do well. And he just fucking didn't he? He just didn't. And yeah, so I'll admit to making a stupid judgment during that period as well. But at least you were younger, Connor. At least you have the excuse. I was still, a grown-ass man at that point. Blitz Shadows going 3-1 to the Reds on Saturday. A lot of people going 3-1 actually for the Arsenal game. A lot of predictions for 3-1. Again, we're only 5 subscribers away from 21,600, ladies and gents. If you are enjoying the stream and you haven't yet subscribed, please do hit that button. VVD is the king of cool, said Jan. He's the king of everything, except Egypt, because that is, of course, Mohamed Salah. Liverpool have one of the best teams in the world, and if money comes or family issues happen, they could leave something new. That's the problem, being a great team. If money comes or family issues happen, they could leave for something. That's the problem. I don't get where you're going with that, Jamie. Sorry, mate. I genuinely don't know where you're going with that one. Aquilani. Oh, he was brought in to replace fucking Xabi Alonso. Still cringe about that one. I'll never forget the nickname, reading The Little Prince, when we signed him. And he was injured. I mean, right from the day we fucking signed him, he was injured. David Ngog, another one. At least Ngog did some things. Do you know what I mean? At least we got something from David Ngog. Not much, but something. John, is it Sockfield or Salkfield? Said, I think 4-0 Mane's scoring the first goal, 2 from Salah, 1 from Bobby to keep the record of all 3 scoring. They do love playing against Arsenal, John. They really do. Remember Torben Picnic? I do remember Torben Picnic. I mean, yeah, if we want to go to a blast from the past, Jari Litmanen. I was so happy when Jari Litmanen was a Liverpool player as well. Raul Morelos, there is one. The Mohican Portuguese midfielder, Raul Morelos, yeah. Do you know what? He wasn't the worst of them. I got to be honest, I don't think Raul Morales was the worst of them. I don't look back on him with the same disdain. Not from a personal perspective, because I don't, hate any former Liverpool player, but I just mean from that period of our history and the players we were signing. Morales, he was alright. I didn't mind Raul Morales, to be honest. Storm Thomas said, "Hi Craig, it'd be great to have a clean sheet at the weekend." Yeah, it would. I don't see it happening. I really don't, if I'm being honest. Usually when we play Arsenal, there's a few goals in the game. And Gog scored against United and Leeds, said Gary. Yep, and so did who scored that other goal against United in the 4-0 at Old Trafford, the 4-1 at Old Trafford? What was his name? Left back. You know who I'm talking about. Another one. Craig, were you happy when we signed Balotelli? No, I wasn't, Anthony. Not at all. Particularly, it was embarrassing for the club at that point when Rodgers had come out and said we weren't signing Mario Balotelli, and then lo and behold, we fucking replaced Luis Suarez with Mario Balotelli and Ricky Lambert. I mean, what do you say to that? Like, you lose Luis Suarez and you bring in Mario fucking Balotelli and Ricky Lambert. I mean, just thinking back on it, it is shocking, isn't it? Just shocking. Philip Degan, another shout from somebody. Albert Riera, I didn't mind Riera. Andre De Sena, that's who I was trying to think of. Connor, thank you. Scored the goal against United, yeah. Fabio Aurelio, now, if we can take a little second, I know Brian Morrissey has a soft spot as well for Fabio Aurelio. If he hadn't had as many injuries as I had, he was one hell of a baller, Aurelio, honestly. A very, very, very good left back indeed. And somebody who I look back on very fondly, and just unfortunate with his injuries, but what a footballer. Craig, the BBC film Shankly, Nature's Fire, if you haven't seen it, is a must. Only available 28 days on iPlayer. We don't get BBC iPlayer in Ireland, mate. It's region protected, so if we miss something on BBC, unfortunately, we miss it. Yeah, it is a shitty thing that it's region protected, and even in Ireland we can't get it. Well, we can't get it normally, shall we say. I think we'll win 3-0, but Arsenal will give us a good game, said Jensen Mayonnaise. Very good name. Salif Diao was so disappointing. Indeed he was. I mean, you don't sign... I'm always nervous when you sign players after a good tournament like that. Or were they brought in? Somebody told me before, actually, that we had agreed the deal for either Juff or Diao before the World Cup. Which, my memory at this moment in time is awful, ladies and gents. So, but yeah, always worried about signing players like that have good tournaments. Good evening, Craig. To John Sinnott, Bruno Shearu springs to mind. He was meant to be the next Zidane. Yeah, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't. But you know what I mean. He did all right. Bang average. Craig Challoner said, every Liverpool manager have had their duds. Houllier, Shearu, Kenny, David Speedy, Rafa, Robbie Keane. I don't class Robbie Keane as a dud. I think that's very unfair to Robbie Keane, actually. The issue there was that Rafa really didn't, because he couldn't get... He wanted two players at that time. I mean, let's go back and relive the situation here. He wanted to bring in two players, and the board only gave him one. And that was the situation. Robbie Keane never really got a fair shake at the time, and I feel sorry for Keane to an extent. And I'm not Robbie Keane's biggest fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I do feel sorry for him around his time at Liverpool. I think it could have been better. I think he could have gotten more chances. Yeah, it was all about Rafa not getting the player that he wanted. And he wanted two, as I said, but Robbie Keane was one of the two, but he didn't get Gareth Barry, and not getting Barry really seemed to piss off Rafa, if memory serves correct, and I just don't think Robbie Keane ever got a fair shake. Balotelli isn't worth his weight in piss. He just went and signed, didn't he, for some Italian club near where he grew up. Got a hero's welcome, actually. What a baller Ricky Lambert was, his goal against Aston Villa. Okay. Yeah, he was alright for Southampton, but he didn't fucking do much when he came to Liverpool. But if you're Ricky Lambert, a Scouser, a boyhood fan, you don't turn that move down. Right? From his point of view, he will for the rest of his life get to say he played for Liverpool, and that is fucking class. We'd all give our left... Why am I going back to left testicles again? Too much left testicle talk in the stream. But we'd give it to play for the Reds. Am I into Gaelic football? Passing interest, Joseph, mate. Callum said I'm going 3-1 to Liverpool. I had a feeling you'd defend Robbie Keane. I don't like Robbie Keane, Craig. I'm not defending him from a point of view that he's Irish and that I think he's a superstar. I just genuinely don't think. Robbie Keane scored goals everywhere. Everywhere he went in his career, he scored goals. So that's one thing you can't label against the dude. I just don't think he got a fair shake. What else we got? Speedy wasn't the dud. Got us the league, same as Ronnie Rosenthal, said Dean Dixon. We did Keane wrong, said Bernadette Farrell. Luis Alberto, he is at Lazio now actually, Luis Alberto, doing really well over there. Lots of people thinking I defended Keane because he's Irish. I honestly couldn't give a shit that he's Irish. Anyone that knows me knows I'm not a fan of international football, so I just defended him because I genuinely didn't think he got a fair shake at the club. Keane and Babel didn't get a fair chance in my opinion, said Tom Boland. Well, Babel got a lot longer to prove himself than Robbie Keane did. Robbie Keane was a victim of the politics between Rafa and the board, said Ishmael. He was a really good player elsewhere. I don't know, Dean, if it was Brescia, mate. You could name the right club that he went to and I wouldn't know. I just know that it was the club he grew up close to when he was a kid in Italy. Brescia, his hometown club, said Brian Morrissey. There you go, you were spot on, Dean. Bernadette Farrell, Keane was a great player before and after us. He never got a decent run. Shame, really. Yeah, I was excited when we signed Robbie Keane. I was thinking, yep, there'll be goals here, and he did score that absolute worldie against Arsenal. But that was pretty much the highlight of his Liverpool career. Craig, talk about right bollocks just to even it up, said Stephen Booker. It just doesn't have the same twang to it, mate, as left, does it? Maybe it's because I'm left-handed, which in Ireland we call a kitto, by the way. We needed a winger. Keane helped, said Stuart Ferguson. Osama Saidi, you remember him, said Kane. Yes, do you remember when he was signing? Yeah, we were all like, this is going to be either a masterstroke or an absolute disaster. And it was B. Nothing against the player. Again, if you're Osama Saidi and you get offered that move, you take it. I think it was him recently spoke about his agent who is... Oh, who's the guy that I hate of all the agents? Who is Ibrahimovic's agent again? God, why do I forget everything when I'm on a stream? Anyway, he spoke very fondly of the agent and said that people give him a bad rep, but he worked really hard, got that deal for him, and basically changed his life. So if I'm going to come on and slate somebody, I suppose I've got to give them credit when a player gives them credit as well. What's his name? Pogba's agent as well. I'm sure if I scroll down now, somebody will tell me his name. 1 second. Where are we? Mino Raiola, yes, that's him. Thank you. Yes, he spoke very highly of Mino Raiola. Would have loved us to have signed Nicolas and Elk on a permanent deal after a season long with us. John, I am 100% behind you. I will never understand why Liverpool didn't sign an Elk on a permanent deal. He was quality, absolute quality. And did alright when he was here as well. So I'm with you, John. I don't get why we never made that a permanent deal. Do you remember the Liverpool 4, Arsenal 4? I do. And didn't what? Andre Voronin? Not Voronin. Arshavin. Didn't he score 4 against us at one point as well? Was it in a Carling Cup match or a League Cup game? Worst moment in recent seasons. Karius literally throwing away our chances to win the Champions League. We had Real Madrid in that game. Yeah, look, there was a number of things that fucked us up in that game, mate. Karius, of course, having a big part to play, but also Mo Salah. And yeah, I'm trying to bite my tongue from what I actually want to say here. Yeah, Mo Salah being fucking cage warriored, basically. Yeah, had a lot to play in that as well. Gareth Bale worldie as well, can't forget that. I mean, the game from our point of view will always be remembered for the Karius incident, unfortunately, but I mean, that Gareth Bale goal is one of the best goals you'll ever see in a final. I mean, you got to give the man credit, it was tremendous. Heartbreaker for us, but yeah, Sergio Ramos's MMA antics aside, Karius's mistake, Gareth Bale's goal was an absolute fucking wonder strike. Curtis Dalton reckons 3-0 Liverpool, Craig. Could be too good for them after a week off. I'm the same as you, mate. I'm very confident about this game. And if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm understandably confident about the team. They've won 2 out of 2 in the league. They've seen them strengthen. They thought that they weren't going to have as big of a window as they had. So you can understand Arsenal fans being confident, and rightly so, and I don't begrudge them that confidence. But from our side, we've a great record against Arsenal in the Premier League at home. Our front three love playing against them. Bobby Firmino's almost wetting himself with excitement to play against them. We haven't lost a home in the Premier League in over 2 seasons now. I'm just confident going into this game that we're going to pick up 3 points. But again, as I always said, I'm looking forward to the match. Mark Kennedy, the only winger who couldn't go past a player with the ball, said Craig Challoner. Who else? There was do you remember Mark Gonzalez, who a young Chilean, is that the phrase? That Rafa brought in that never took ages, I think, to get a work permit. And it just never worked out for Mark Gonzalez. Felt sorry for Keane, but don't think we should have signed him, said Gonads. Suso was doing great in Milan. They tried to offload him in the summer, Killian. There was talk of him being part of a deal for somebody else. Was it? I think it might have been Fekir, if memory serves me correct. But yeah, Suso was doing pretty well at AC Milan. Aspas wasn't good for us, said Scotty. No, he wasn't, but when he went back to Celta Vigo, he's been doing quite well. Are you streaming your reaction to every game this season? We're doing watch-alongs of every game, Jensen, mate, if that's what you mean. So yes, Arsenal game, for instance, we'll be starting our stream at 5 p.m. And I won't say every game, because there will be times where I won't be here. So like when we're in America next month, for instance, we'll be doing coverage around the games, but we won't be doing live watch-alongs while we're over there. There's also a week in October where I'm going to be in Tenerife. I will be back the morning of the Manchester United game, which I'm so happy about, because if I'd have missed that, I'd have been an absolute antichrist. So yes, in general, mate, every Liverpool game that we are here for, we will be doing watch-alongs of 100%, and post-match shows as well. Crouch was the best, said Tom Jones. I fucking love Crouchy. I absolutely love him. As a footballer, as a man, you gotta love Peter Crouch. I love anybody that can take the piss out of themselves and doesn't take life too seriously, and Crouchy does that. Right, let me just catch up again. Sorry, I'm playing catch up with the chat. I spoke about Anthony Taylor being the referee. For those that are coming in a little bit late tonight and are wondering about the stream title, reports in the media today suggest that the Reds are interested in trying to bring Bayer Leverkusen playmaker Kai Havertz to Anfield next summer. He's already one of Europe's most sought after players, and the Reds are reportedly set to face competition for a signature from the likes of Barcelona, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and many, many more of Europe's top clubs. Just as a bit of a recap to those coming in late and are wondering what we spoke about. We spoke about Ryan Kent and a few rumours saying that he may go on loan to Rangers, but the Echo believe that isn't going to be the case. Bayer Leverkusen are attempting to sign Liverpool defender Dejan Lovren on loan for the season, it's been reported. That's something we haven't spoken about yet. We had seen lots of links to him moving to Italy. Originally it was AC Milan. That kind of fell through. Then Roma came next, and everybody, myself included, thought that was going to happen. Then it seemed that Roma just wanted a loan deal. Liverpool didn't want that to happen. But now Leverkusen are coming in, and apparently they're offering a loan deal with a £3 million loan fee. Have you guys read much about this? I've got to be honest, at this point, I keep Lovren. I don't see the benefit of moving him on and leaving ourselves potentially short. I know we've gone Sepp van den Berg. I know we have Kiana Hoover. I know Fabinho can play centre-back. I know we have Gomez, we have Matip, we have Van Dijk. Every top team needs at least 4 senior centre-backs, in my opinion, when you're playing two. I know some teams play 3 at the back, you'd need more, or 3 centre-backs, but for us, we need 4. We need 4, and maybe speaking about Rafa a few minutes ago, Rafa on the brain, maybe Kloppo thinks highly enough of Sepp van den Berg, I don't know, but for me, I just don't see any sense in moving Dexy Lovren on now. We've no chance to replace him. 100% can't do that. Unless there's a free agent floating around, but are you going to get a free agent that's better or as good as Dejan Lovren? I don't see the point of this one, I have to say. If it was a permanent deal and there was a long-term view to it, maybe, but to get 3 million from a loan fee, I don't know. Unless there's a falling out or something that we don't know about, but I would have him as he is fourth in our list as things stand at centre back. So I would definitely have him behind Matip and Gomez and Van Dijk, of course. But yeah, I don't know about this one. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, I have to say. Ragnar Klavan. I mean, love for Klavan. Gotta have love for Klavan. Leeds beat Brentford 1-0. Cardiff beat Huddersfield 2-1 to Anthony Cronin. I love Michael Owen growing up, says UK beats. I was always more of a Robbie Fowler fan personally. But look, Owen did great. I mean, whatever we think about him, when he went to Madrid, United, Newcastle, all that stuff, when he was at Liverpool, he banged in goals. You can't ever say that about Owen and not be fair about it. What was your opinion on Craig Bellamy when he joined? I enjoyed Craig Bellamy's time at Liverpool. I have to be honest, yeah. Haven't enjoyed him since. He is so far up Pep Guardiola's arse that you can't even hear him anymore. But as a player at Liverpool, the nutter with the putter, yeah, I enjoyed having Craig Bellamy at the club. I thought he put in some very good performances. He's a very, very good footballer, Bellamy. So yeah, I was fond of having him at the club. Angroid said, keep Lovren, trust him more in central defence than Joe Gomez. Wow. I don't. But I do rate Lovren, don't get me wrong. I rate Degsy Lovren, but I would definitely have him behind Joe Gomez. But I look at it's all about opinions, Angroid, mate, isn't it? Ishmael said, I'd keep Lovren this year, partly because I like him, a good bloke to have around the dressing room, and a good backup too. And Mo's bestie, let's not forget about that. Love Craig Bellamy, said Chris Welch. Titus Bramble, no, we pass. Bishkan wears Ragnar Klavan pyjamas, said Will. Super Crow at Igor Bishkan used to be atrocious. I'll never ever forget seeing that banner. One of my favourites. One of my favourite flags and banners from the Cop. Did a job as well in midfield against Juventus in the second leg away in Turin, where we had was Mascherano or Alonso banned, and we played Bishan in midfield, and we got the draw over there, got the result, and yes, fond memories of him just for that and that alone. Big up ham and pineapple pizza. You can stick your ham and pineapple pizza, Shankly Spirit. No. Pineapple on a pizza, it just doesn't belong. I know it's an age-old argument, but nah, not for me. The ham part, yeah, I'm at a push. Keep Lovren, Salah's bestie, says UK beats. Jack Butland was shocking tonight, like badly shocking, said Jamie Todd. Haven't seen any of the games yet, mate. I will watch the highlights later on. Dave said he'd like Maddison to Liverpool. I'm with you on that one, buddy. James Maddison, excellent footballer. Every time I say this, I can almost hear boys shouting in his house going, no! Yeah, he is good. He's good. And I think, I said during the summer that I felt he almost owed Leicester another season. And he spoke very highly about the squad at Leicester and about the vibe of the club and that they're a club on the up and up. And yeah, I think he's right to stay there for one more season at least. Mark Farrer said, fearful to play Lovren. The thing about Lovren that's weird is, does he have a mistake in him? Yes, he does. That game he'll never live down the game against Spurs, for instance, at Wembley. That was shocking. One of the worst performances I've seen from the man. But he does fight back. That's one thing I'll say about Degsy Lovren. He does fight back, and he is a fighter in life in general, and he doesn't give up. And I love that trait in anybody. And he loves the club. And he's a great professional. He's great to have around. And on his day, he can be a world-class defender. But he also does have... I kind of look at him like the Hugo Lloris of defenders, if that makes sense. I spoke to you guys before about my thoughts on Lloris, that he can do world-class things in goal, but he can make major fuck-ups as well. I kind of always looked at Degsy Lovren the same way. Shay Giles said, Luis Garcia, what a baller. Luis Garcia, he drinks sangria. He came from Barca to bring us joy. He's 5'7" in football heaven. Please don't take my Luis away, Luis Garcia. You can't help it, can you? When that man's name gets mentioned, that song comes into your head. Yeah, I actually had the privilege of meeting Luis Garcia. We did an event with 5 times a couple of years back. We met Luis Garcia, Djibril Cissé, Didi Hamann and Vladimir Smicer. and got to spend about 20-25 minutes with the guys. Gentlemen, that's all I can say. A real gent. Is it just me, or are your eyes actually bigger than normal eyes? Is it just me, Jamie, or are you a cunt? I don't know, mate. We can go back and forth here if you want. If you want to come on the stream, mate, and take the piss out of me, have at it. But I promise you there's only going to be one winner here, mate, because whatever you have, I will fucking bury you when it comes to banter. So if you want to have a go at it, Jamie, fair enough. Are my eyes bigger than normal? Perhaps. Is my dick smaller than normal? Perhaps. We'll never know. I know, but you won't know, mate. But yeah, don't come on my fucking stream and start trying to abuse me, mate, because as I said, I will fucking bury you with banter. So fuck you, mate, is my answer to that one. Yeah, fuck you and consider yourself banned, mate. There you go. Would have been so much easier, Jamie, just to keep your bullshit comments to yourself, pal, but you had to do it, didn't you, buddy? You had to do it. You had to play Billy Big Bollocks. Pineapples belong on little sticks found on bun scurries, said Stephen Booker. What time do I usually go to bed? 4 or 5, Divock, mate, something like that. Neil Gordon's gone 4-1 to Liverpool. Oxlade-Chamberlain gets on the board. Salah gets 2. Mane gets 1. Lovren needed to go years ago, said LFC 8092. You're very harsh, mate, aren't you? At times. You can be quite negative, buddy. And you come up with some great comments as well, don't get me wrong, but there are times where you go to the negative side. Fernandes is better than both, as in with Sancho, or are we talking about Sancho or Kai Havertz, mate? I don't think he is, you know. It remains to be seen. It really does. Love Luis Garcia, said Craig Adams. Vlad is such a nice guy, said Dean Dixon. We'll always remember his goal against Juventus, said what a goal that was. Sammy Hyypiä with a header as well. Was it a header? Was it a header or a side foot volley Hyypiä scored at the back post? But yeah, Luis Garcia's, what a goal. What a goal. Craig rant is on, said Bernadette. Nah, doesn't even deserve the rant, mate. Do you know what? Funnily enough, my eyes are my fucking favourite feature about myself. Whatever about this fucking slug of an eyebrow here, but there come to bed eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know what I mean? We'll always remember his goal against Juve. What else we got? You can tell we've got a big game coming up. The press are talking about Klopp retiring again. Yeah, I seen that, mate. I seen that during the week. He didn't help the situation, to be fair, when he came out and said, I might retire. You never know what might happen. It's a long time away. But don't rule it out. I don't know. He's going to see out his contract. We've got another 3 years, the guts of 3 years left with Kloppo, so enjoy him. That's all I'll say. Enjoy him. Don't give airtime to trolls. Yeah, Sean, sometimes I like it, though. You know, I need to vent at times as well, buddy, and sometimes I use little idiots like him to do that venting. And I never instigate it. I've got to say that. I never just pick somebody out of the chat and just abuse them. That's not my way at all. But I'm definitely somebody that if you come at me with something, probably coming back at you. But I should try more. You're right, mate. I do take your point on board. You don't mess with the site owner. Rule number 1, said Gonads. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there'll only be one winner in that argument, won't it? Like, if I wanted to, I could just mute him and spend the remainder of the stream talking about him, but yeah, why bother? We'll move on. What else we got? Hyypiä side foot volley against Juventus, back post. What a finish. What a player. Love big Sammy Hyypiä. Scotty said, I can't stop laughing at your insults to people. That's me holding back. Like, if I said what was actually going through my head in these situations, I'd be banned. I would be... I mean, I've once or twice used phraseology that I know has offended people. I'm going to say 2 words now, and I'm not aiming these at anybody. I'm just talking about them because they're mistakes that I've made, and I've owned up to these before. So, again, these words I know offend people. I'm just saying them in a context. I've called somebody a mong before, and I've called somebody a retard on the stream before, and I shouldn't have done that. That I've said before. They're words I shouldn't have used, but that's the type of shit that does go through my head in these situations. If I was to just unfilter everything that comes out when I want to talk, I would be banned in a day. So I do try, even though it looks like I'm ranting. I promise you, I'm still trying to hold back and filter what I'm trying to say. I love Lovren, said Jordan, LFC 165. I could understand why, mate. He's a likeable guy. Havertz, miles better than Fernandes, said Stephen Booker. I hope Ireland qualifies for the World Cup. They were good in 2010, said JDB. Sadio needs a new song. His song's pretty good, though. Sadio Mane. It's a pretty good song, isn't it? I like it anyway. But look, more songs for Sadio, why not? Actually, I put up a poll earlier on, ladies and gents, on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account, and I'm actually quite shocked at the results. So the poll was a really simple one. I asked people who they think will be the Reds' top scorer in all competitions this season. 3 options: Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah and Bobby Firmino. And the results are in. I can't believe it was quite this wide. Now, I never really expected Firmino to win this vote, but Sadio Mane, there was over 1,500 votes cast. Sadio Mane got 69% of the vote. And Mohamed Salah got 27 with Bobby Firmino on 4. Now, I knew it would probably be between Sadio Mane and Mo Salah, but for that, yeah, like what, 250% more votes roughly, something like that. A little bit shocked, but it does go into what I've been feeling as well. I know a lot of Reds have been feeling that there could be a big season this year for Sadio, and it's interesting to see how other people think, which is why sometimes we run these polls. We do have a competition, by the way, still running on our Twitter account. We're giving away a Jordan Henderson print from Sean Leonard Art. So if you want to enter that, just go over, look at the pin tweet on our account. It is really straightforward. All our social media accounts are just at Anfield Agenda. Instagram, the same, at Anfield Agenda. Twitter, Anfield Agenda. Really straightforward. That competition, the winner will be announced after the Arsenal game on Saturday, and all you have to do to go over is just make sure you're following us, make sure you're following Sean Leonard Art, and just retweet the pinned tweet, and that's it. Job done. We're working on more giveaways as well. We've actually had to turn down some giveaways, which is mad. I've never thought I'd say that before, but the channel grown and stuff, people are knocking on our door a little bit more, and we turned down a lot of things that would actually make us money. But I always lean towards the things that lead to us giving away free shit, because who doesn't love giving away free shit? I fucking love giving away free shit. My chair is being shipped, by the way, from Serendipity Furniture, so thank you. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I will show you this absolute masterpiece that's coming from Serendipity Furniture. Cannot wait. I just got a message there from Paul from Serendipity earlier on to say that the chair was on its way. It's wrapped up and ready to go, and I am very excited about it. Where is me baby? I will show you. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. It is an absolute beauty of a chair that I will be using for the streams. Where is she? So many pictures on my phone. Okay, I'm going to hold it up to the camera now to show you, try and get my best. So yes, as you can see, that is it. Move it in a bit closer, so it focuses maybe. Yeah, so there will be my name is on it underneath. My surname is underneath the live bird on the chair. That should be here hopefully on Friday at the latest, and we are doing a photo shoot for the arrival of the chair in Waterford at a very swanky house, part of Brian Morrissey's family. Thank you very much to them for giving us the beautiful home to do a lovely photo shoot in, and yeah, very much looking forward to sitting my fat ass in that chair from now on and enjoying the streams in my Anfield Agenda throne, which is again, massive shout out Serendipity Furniture. Do check them out. There's a tweet about them from our Anfield Agenda Twitter account. Lots of love for that chair. I know the chair is available to buy. It is a commercially available chair, so if you do want to get in contact, please do check out Serendipity Furniture on Facebook, Serendipity Furniture on Twitter, Instagram, or contact me and I'll put you in contact with Paul and Beth. I mentioned Anfield Agenda, you get a discount on the chair as well of £100, which, you know, and there's a 10-year guarantee. I mean, I could not have asked to work with a nicer company. I mean, from day one, the input I've had into the chair, the feedback, every stage along the way, I can't speak highly enough of them, and it's getting shipped over, and I'm so fucking excited. I can't wait to sit my fat ass in that chair. It deserves better than my fat ass, but it is this one that it shall have, unfortunately. Can't wait to get my ass groove into that chair. I think Van Dijk can keep playing into his 40s to somebody else. Craig will destroy you, trolls, so watch out, you're going to go with the rest. Oh, fuck him, honestly. I'm in too good of a mood now to deal with any other trolls for the rest of the stream. Laurie said, oh, I love that chair. Yeah, it is class. Probably going to have to rearrange the room here that I do the streams from to fit it in because it's quite big, but so worth it. Tom Boland said the throne is in transit up the chair, said Tom Boland. Gerrard wouldn't be a sufficient replacement for Klopp, said Shay Tran. Not yet. No, I get you, mate. Not yet. I agree. I would like Gerrard, and there's still time, but I'd like him to maybe do this year at Rangers, perhaps move on, take another step up then. And I actually don't mind if it was to another Premier League club, as long as, there are certain clubs I think that we would understand maybe Gerrard going to for a few years. Craig Adams said, I don't see the point of coming on anyone's stream just to slag them off. Pointless, so jealous that chair, mate. Wish I could afford one. Maybe the Havertz money will buy one. Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, shout out to Football Index. Sign up link in the description below. Use AA and sign up. It is a gambling product. When the fun stops, and begambleaware.org if you have any issues around gambling. But yeah, mate, I'm looking forward to it as well. And like you, why bother? I mean, I'm somebody that likes to try and spread positive shit out there. So I'd rather go on to somebody's stream and say, well done, congratulations on your win today, or I'm looking forward to playing you guys on Saturday. Anything. I just don't see the point in going on and trolling people, because it says a lot more about you as a person that you feel the need to try and put somebody down. I don't know. I mean, it's the first time anyone's had a go at my eyes. I've been called the White Malteser. You know all the names at this point. And I do enjoy a bit of decent banter. Can't see Simeone. I don't want Simeone anywhere near Anfield. The thoughts of looking at Diego Simeone football week in, week out would drive me demented after being spoiled by what we've seen with Jurgen Klopp. And even the style of football that we played under Brendan Rodgers. Simeone would be like prime Rafa Benitez kind of European style of grinding things out, and it's effective. It's very effective, and he's an excellent manager, but not for me at Liverpool. No. What else we got? What about the old Barca manager, now Spain manager? I think he'd be good. Enrique. He was linked with Arsenal, actually. Yeah, he was linked with Arsenal before Emery went in. Tom Jones said, want to see Gerrard go to probably relegated Newcastle and promote them, keep them up like Rafa. Finances, that's a challenge. What do you think Klopp will say when his contract expires? I don't think it will go that long, mate. I think we'll probably know with about a year to go what his decision will be, if he's going to take time off or whatever. Whatever does happen, happens. I mean, he will have been at the club 7 years at that point, I think. I hope he extends it. I really do. I know the club would extend it tomorrow if he showed an indication that that's what he wanted to do, but they're also being respectful of Jurgen Klopp's thought process on this. And the last contract that he signed, he indicated that he'd be happy to stay here, and the club moved quickly and gave him that new deal. And I very much believe, from what I've read, that if he does that again, Liverpool will be right in there and say, look, here's another contract, mate. Because the owners love him. He's an ideal manager to have at the football club from every perspective, from a sponsor's perspective, from a footballing perspective, from a business perspective, from a youth player development perspective, from attracting players into the club. I mean, there's so many positives about having Jurgen Norbert Klopp at this football club. Does the channel have a code with Blood Husky? I'm in contact with them for a Robbo shirt. A code? Yes. Sorry. If you want to buy anything, I didn't know what you were saying there for a second. Yeah, if you do want to buy anything, Scotty, on Blood Husky, and you have to buy 2 t-shirts or more to use this code, use the code Anfield Agenda 10. All caps, and then the number 10 after that. Again, we don't make a penny from that. I want to point that out. The reason we got that code with Blood Husky was to get you guys a discount. We don't make any money from any sales of any t-shirts on Blood Husky. But yeah, there is a code, Anfield Agenda 10. After Klopp, how would people feel about Simeone? Pass for me, as I touched on a minute ago, Max. Great manager. Not disrespect to him, just not the style of football I'd want to see at Liverpool. Seahawk said, I'm new to AA, just curious, how did I come to support Liverpool, or are you blessed with good taste? And no, I would love to be able to say I come from a family of Liverpool fans, but my father wasn't really a football person. I've no brothers and sisters. I think I spoke about this before. My parents were at a dinner party and at a friend's of theirs, and while they were in having dinner, I was sitting down watching, it probably was Match of the Day or something at the time, or maybe it was live. Actually, do you know what? It was probably live. It was the game we were playing Arsenal at Anfield. Arsenal had to win by 2 clear goals to win the league, and they did, and they won the league. But a young Craig watching that game just fell in love with Liverpool, and have been ever since. It's strange to end up supporting a football club on the back of a loss. But yeah, that was it. That was what felt. I just remember looking at that cop, looking at the pitch, looking at those red shirts, and just being mesmerised, and have been since that day. I missed a few minutes now. We're talking about a new manager, said Jack. Why are we talking about? Yeah, somebody mentioned his contract. That's the only reason we were talking about it, mate. Would I be worried if Liverpool faced Atletico? Of course, they're an excellent club, mate, and an excellent team. But as I said, with a very good manager, it would be a very, very difficult game. They are prime shithouses, and I mean that in a complimentary way. Yeah, Atletico, a very good team. Did you see João Felix, by the way, in training? That little cheeky fucking round the world or whatever it was he did on the goalkeeper. He looks like a baller, doesn't he? 3 years aren't enough. Klopp should be looking to get much more success as possible. He will. And there's 3 years a very long time in football, mate. Gokul said, I don't mind Simeone as long as we build a domestic dominance. Yeah, look, I get you. I'm just maybe a little bit spoiled, as I said, with what we've seen on the Kloppo. Do you think it'd be a good idea to promote backroom staff as manager if Klopp takes a break? Pep and Linder's prime candidate there, Jan. Thank you for the question, Jan Hanna. It's prime candidate for me, Pep and Linders. I mean, we can't overlook that man. If we are to look, and somebody who has worked side by side with Jurgen Klopp, somebody who we know wants to go on and be a manager, had that little spell in Holland, didn't work out, came back, working on the Klopp at the minute. Yeah, don't rule out Pep and Linders. I know he's a very highly rated young manager, or young coach, I should say. Xabi Alonso will be a great manager. Hopefully one day he returns to Liverpool, said Tom Jones. Pep Linder, said Chris Welch. Just spoke about him, mate. Very high hopes for him on a coaching perspective. I wonder will Lucas Leiva ever come back to the club? Because his kids are Scousers. They were born and raised here. He's extended his contract at Lazio. He's doing well over there. But I just always wondered, would he come back to be a coach to the club? Maybe I'm just looking back fondly because I like Lucas Leiva, but hopefully I wouldn't mind seeing him back. Casper, love you too, mate. Thank you very much for the kind words. Do you not think Jamie Carragher would have made a good manager? 100%, Leon. 100%. I was actually surprised he didn't go down that route. I think of all the former Liverpool players from recent years, Carragher would have been the one to me, even ahead of Gerrard, that I would have thought would have went on to be a manager. Yeah, it is baffling. I mean, he's got a good, lucrative, I suppose, steady career at Sky there, from that perspective. But yeah, it's interesting. I thought maybe he would have. I wonder though if Stevie G came in. I wonder. Is there any championship teams one stage away from the Europa League for the second year running? Gerrard is doing something better than getting Newcastle up again. Yeah, look, I would like Gerrard to manage a Premier League club, to be fair, if he did come in. Not somebody who just went down, so I get where you're coming from. Divock said, it's Harrison from Northern Ireland. Love watching your streams every night. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Harrison, mate. Really appreciate that. And thank you for letting me know your real name as well and where you're from, mate. Thank you very much. And I hope you continue to enjoy them. Thanks a lot, Craig, for your answer. We're a lot better club for your support, mate. Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? It is like a way of life. When you get bitten by the Liverpool bug, it is a way of life. Liverpool dictates my life at this point, pretty much. What happens Liverpool related affects my moods. It affects my outlook, probably more so than it should do. But I think it's fucking Liverpool, isn't it? You gotta love it, like. Oh look, another fucking Heronomics professor. You will never get Kai Havertz. Whoa, 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 whoa. I added in the whoa, 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 whoa for effect there, Ethan. I hope you appreciate the effort I went through there, mate. I don't really give a fuck whether we do or don't get Kai Havertz, Ethan, if I'm being quite frank, mate. Whatever Jurgen Klopp wants is good with me. If he doesn't get Kai Havertz, fair enough, he'll get somebody else. If Kai Havertz doesn't want to come and play for this wonderful football club, fair enough. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, mate. That's my opinion on it. As a footballer, I support the football club. Players are just transient employees of the football club that come and go. But it's the football club that we're all about. Please remind us when was the last time we lost at home. In the league, it's been over 2 seasons, mate. I couldn't tell you. I know we lost to Chelsea in the cup, and I can't remember our last game loss at Anfield. But yeah, over 2 seasons he's turned Anfield into a fortress again. Casper said, any podcast coming tomorrow? Tomorrow, Casper. As I said earlier on, mate, you probably weren't on the stream at the time. 8:30 tomorrow, myself, Dave and Brian are going to be doing a live podcast here for Arsenal preview. So do keep an eye out for that one, mate. And that will be followed up then by the late night agenda. So lots of stuff coming up tomorrow night. We'll be going from 8:30 right through till about 11:15. 2 separate streams though. But yeah, there will be a pod coming, mate. I'm looking forward to it. Craig, what about a Sheffield United if they stay up? Would you take Stevie G there? I don't think they will stay up. But no, again, probably a higher level. Who would I like? Let's say Wolves, as an example. Wolves would be I know Nuno will probably be there, but that's the type of club I'd be looking for Gerrard to come in. And now that I think about it, actually, that'd be a pretty fucking perfect move. I like Nuno, by the way. I'm not trying to wish his job away. Craig Adams said, for me, Gerrard needs to manage somebody in a better league. No offence to the Scottish Premier League, but it's a different world. It is. From various ways, mate. I mean, don't they still have some AstroTurf pitches up in Scotland? There's some synthetic pitches, which, you're not going to get in the Premier League, obviously. Heard Pep wanted the pool job after Klopp. That's not going to happen. I think he'll go back to Barcelona. Somebody said to me, don't rule out Pep Guardiola managing Qatar for the World Cup. Somebody said this to me a few months ago, and I have zero idea if there's any credibility to it whatsoever. But somebody mentioned it to me. Somebody whose opinion I actually value enough to have at least raised my eyelids about, or eyebrow singular, about that possibility. So yeah, but I think he'll manage Barcelona again at some point as well. Love your vids. Good night, Craig, said Jordan. Thank you very much, Jordan. Appreciate that, mate. Craig, would you take Pep if Klopp left? Look, it is absolutely not going to happen. But for me to sit here and say that if who I class as the best manager in the world left, would I take who I class as probably very close to being the next best manager in the world? Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't? Be honest about ourselves. It's not going to happen. There's not 1% chance of it happening, but let's be frank about it. If Klopp moved on and Guardiola was available, I would take him at Liverpool. Of course I would. He's a fucking world-class manager. Yeah, and I mean, banter, rivalry, all that shit aside, facts are facts, and Guardiola, in my opinion, and it is just about opinions, yes, of course I'd have him at Liverpool. As I said, never going to happen, but that's my honest opinion. I'd also wouldn't mind Pochettino, another manager who I rate very, very highly. Gerrard would bring Morelos to Liverpool. No, he wouldn't. He'd know damn well that attitude wouldn't fly at Liverpool, and that track record of red cards, mate. Subi said, Craig, what about Watford with Javi Garcia, who's probably going to get sacked? Yeah, decent club, mate. There is a few clubs like that you can make a shout for Stevie G. Pep said he wants to join Liverpool after Man City. I saw that. Please point me to that article or wherever that is, if that's the case. Any of the mods, if you have it, you can put a link in, because I would be absolutely amazed if he came out and said that. It would just undermine so many things. Unless, of course, he's doing it in a kind of trying to get in Klopp's head kind of way. But football's mad. You can never rule that now. Although I'm pretty much ruling that out, to be fair. Felix Sanchez is a great manager for Qatar. Won the Asian Cup for them. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying what I was told. May not come to light. May never happen. Just, saying what I was told. Do you think this high-line defence we're using is a good idea? Yes, I do. I don't actually know if this is something... Because Klopp said it wasn't a thing. He said that we weren't playing with a higher line than we had previously. But then again, I've read other articles that said we are, and we're doing it because Klopp trusts the defence and he trusts VAR to get the decisions right. So maybe that's why. Actually, on VAR, this is probably a good thing to finish up tonight with, but Connor alerted me to a really strange Premier League VAR law that states, and bear with me on this, any player that enters the video operation room shall be sent off. Absolutely no issue with that. Brilliant law. Absolutely great idea. A little problem with that. It sounds fair until you realise that the closest Premier League ground is at least 13 miles away from the operations room. So how the fuck is anybody going to get near the operations room to walk in there and get sent off if the nearest ground is 13 miles away? It seems like a bit of a crazy rule, but it is a rule that BT have posted, I think, on social media. So there you go, yeah. Any player that enters the video operation room shall be sent off, even though the nearest ground's 13 miles away. Go figure. Mo Salah 68-minute goal against Liverpool, Manchester City 4-3. A thing of true beauty. Go back, revisit, it happens. Okay. The first time I watched and fell in love with Liverpool was because my dad on the night we done the treble back with Westerveld in goal. I'm now 26 and Liverpool is my life. I have them on me, said Curtis Dalton. Yeah, I remember that game against Alaves, mate. Nobody knew what was going on with the golden goal. Should have won the game easier than that. But yeah, the treble was a good year. I think of that as the Gary McAllister year. Do it for the memes, said Albin. I got laughed off a Liverpool side for saying 6 months ago you'll be singing Andy Robertson's name. Morelos would be great Liverpool player. Jared McAllister have calmed them down. What can I say to you, mate? He's banging in goals. Can't deny that. The boy knows where the net is. If it happens, it happens. I can't see into the future. All I can say is his track record of red cards is awful. But the man knows where the goal is. I can't deny that. But it is a big step up again to go from Rangers in the Scottish League down to the Champions League and the Premier League. But some players thrive in that kind of pressure. Maybe they meant the area the refs go to watch the replays. Well, they've moved. Haven't they done away with them, mate? There are no TVs at the side of the pitches anymore for the refs to go and look at. I haven't seen any in the Premier League anyway. Didn't they remove that? Who's your midfield three for the Arsenal game? Fabinho, Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain. That's the three. And we'll go through tomorrow. You'll see my team prediction. You'll see my score prediction. We'll have the preview podcast as well. Look, ladies and gents, my voice is starting to go a little bit, so I'm going to call that a night. If you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. We're only 4 away from our next 100 target. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on the stream as well. If you want to sign up to the Football Index, don't forget the sign up link and sign up code is in the description below. I have to say this is a gaming product or gambling product. It is only available to people in the UK and Ireland, but it will help the channel from a financial perspective. So if you're going to sign up, and if you are, please use that code below and the sign up link and let us know what you think of the product. What else have we got? Hope Nabil plays well against Arsenal. Great stream as always. Thank you guys very much. Gangsta's Paradise, Coolio. Do you know what I mean? Coolio. It's actually one of my dad's favourite songs, surprisingly enough. Good night, Craig. Really good stream. Thanks, Red, said Mossy Kyo. Right, look, ladies and gents, I will chat to you wonderful people tomorrow. Don't forget 8:30 tomorrow night for the podcast, so keep an eye out for that. It will be scheduled. Love to you all, ladies and gents. Take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking Reds. Take care.